drawn blank. You two get along. Talking Carson Wentz after Colts head coach Frank Reich revealed yesterday Wentz has not one, two ankle sprains. Sprained both ankles in Sunday's game against the Rams. Reich said that his status is still up in the air. Wentz has dealt with injuries 6 of the last 7 seasons, going back to his senior year at North Dakota. I mean, take in the list, find a body part he hasn't injured. Chris Broussard, Carson Wentz's injury should have Colts fans feeling blank. Let's just put that on the same line. Foot and ankles.
Yeah, as you said, Janice, injuries, not injury. And they should be feeling deja vu. Deja vu for 2 reasons. One, Wentz has been running for his life ever since the season started. He's been sacked 6 times. He's been hit 21 times. And they have got to do a better job of protecting him if they want to give him a chance of getting through the regular season. We remember the last quarterback they had that took shots. All right, that was Andrew Luck. And his career was cut short because he took so many hits behind that sorry offensive line in Indianapolis that he had to end his career after 6 years. Now, this offensive line is pretty good, but it's banged up, and they haven't been able to protect Wentz. And he is on pace to be sacked 10 more times than Andrew Luck ever was in a season. So I said they got to give him a chance to stay healthy, Nick. That leads me to my second point. This is just Carson Wentz. All right, deja vu. Yes. This is just Carson Wentz. You saw the list of injuries. It dates back to even high school. They found injuries at college that dated back to high school. And so he's been in Indianapolis a few months and already had 3 injuries. The foot injury, then the 2 ankle injuries. When he comes back from these ankle injuries, I hate to say it, it disappoints me. It's sad, but it's probably going to be we're just waiting for the next injury in a few weeks. Of course. This is deja vu, unfortunately, for them because Carson Wentz can't stay healthy.
Yeah. And it's why, while you mock my Atlanta Falcons playoff pick, they're still alive, by the way, it's why some of us thought picking the Colts to make the playoffs was abjectly insane because the Carson Wentz injury was inevitable. And some guys get hurt by fluky stuff. Some guys consistently put themselves in jeopardy. Like Carson Wentz, it's not like he's been a little unlucky, but he also never takes the I'll live to play another down approach. He's always throwing his body around there. He's always trying to extend the play. And some of these are his own doing. But if I'm a Colts fan, I'm angry at management. Frank Reich and Chris Ballard got to look in the mirror and say, did we see this coming? If the answer is no, why not? If the answer is yes, then why was our answer Jacob Eason? Forever in Indy, pre-Andrew Luck with Peyton Manning, they never cared about the backup quarterback position. And Bill Polian was asked about it once. Why don't you ever practice, use your backup quarterback at practice? And he said, because if Peyton gets hurt, we're bleeped. And we don't practice bleeped. That made sense because Peyton never missed a game ever until he missed that whole year late in his career. You knew Carson Wentz was brittle. You knew he was injury prone. And to not trade for Minshew, to not trade for Foles when he was writing love poems in the media to Frank Reich, like, oh, please come save me from Chicago, and to be like, nope, Jacob Eason, he's our plan. You could have beaten the Rams. It was a tie game when Eason went in that game. You could have beaten the Rams, much less compete for this time Wentz is inevitably going to miss. So I don't blame Carson Wentz for being Carson Wentz. I blame management for not recognizing who Carson Wentz is and having a legitimate backup plan Wilds.
So I buy your Gardner Minshew thing. Bring his jean shorts in there. It gets a lot of attention, but I don't think that would affect Carson Wentz. Do you actually think they should have traded for Nick Foles? Don't you think that would be sort of the poison pill in the locker room?
Well, but so what? You know what's the poison pill in the locker room? Having an emotionally and physically fragile quarterback who now can't play.
That's it.
Like, I can't be.
He was sensitive to having someone behind him, and you've been saying that, Nick. Yes.
Yes, but you can't. Okay, so I can't be having Broussard. I can't be having my quarterback be an injury risk, but we can't bring in a quality backup because it'll throw off. Listen, What did Carson Wentz do to earn all this? Because he was good for 13 games 4 years ago. God bless. So was Jared Goff. I mean, give me a break.
But that,
Nick,
yeah.
They knew it was a roll of the dice. They knew it was a roll of the dice, and they figured, let's try to reunite him with Frank Reich, under which he played those great 13 games, and maybe it'll work out. Nick, it would have been over before it started had they brought in Nick Foles. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And we just saw Aaron Rodgers be upset about them bringing in a backup, a rookie. So it happens. Tom Brady got Jimmy Garoppolo out of there with what, 5 Super Bowls
Those
to his
guys
name?
have
He
earned
still didn't want a
something.
backup out there.
All right, I'll shut up.
No
Sorry.
way. And Foles just hasn't been that
Go
good
ahead,
anyway,
Wiles.
other than the one run to the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't get it. I don't know what you're supposed to do there. You're supposed to, all right, we've got Jacob Eason because he's not that good, so you can't get Nick Foles. You can't get Cam, that means. You can't get Gardner Minshew. Cam said his aura would distract any team, never mind Carson Wentz. So I think the whole thing is odd. Anyways, my answer is Taylor time. Last 5 games of the season, Jonathan Taylor had 650 yards, 7 TDs. But like Broussard said, this banged-up offensive line, go Badgers, Jonathan Taylor's only got about 100 yards, 0 touchdowns. So we need that offensive line to get going. Just give it to the old Badger, let him run wild, take a little pressure off the quarterback. Go Badgers.
I was going to ask if you knew
too.
where he went to school.
Sort of the anger here is going to fuel him to a better season than we expected.
I don't know about better than we expected, because obviously he's coming off an MVP year, but I think he's going to have a typical Aaron Rodgers year. And Nick, I wasn't saying he's been inconsistent his whole career. He's been great for the most part his whole career. Like you said, he struggled a few years before LaFleur got there, and now he's been resurrected. But when he's won, and I would say last year was his best year, but it's arguable. But he was very great last year because of the anger. So while I hear you, his personality isn't to be too volatile on the outside, but inside I do believe he's boiling. And I do think guys like Devontae Adams and some of the guys, Randall Cobb, that he's closest to, know that. And I bet you they think he's out to prove something again, and this is a good sign for us Packers.
Well, we saw most of it last night for Aaron Rodgers. 7th game ever with at least 4 touchdowns and 80% passing. Only Breeze and Peyton have had more such games. So we'll see if the trend continues next week. We're back talking Carson Wentz. The injury bug has bit him yet again. Is it time to hit the panic button in Indy?
That old
Ask these guys
bug
next.
bit him
First things
in
first.
both ankles.
The old double.